We're diving into some heavy stuff today.
Yeah.
Our source material, well, it's a video, and it captures a shooting, a really intense situation where a husband finds his wife with another man.
Yeah, infidelity, betrayal, and then violence. A tragic combination. And this video has really captured people's attention, sparked a lot of debate online, a lot of mixed reactions.
Absolutely. I mean, you see that rawness, that real-life drama unfolding, and it's hard to look away. It's a train wreck you can't help but watch. But beyond the shock value, I think there's a lot we can unpack here.
I agree. It's not about condoning or condemning what happened, but trying to understand, trying to figure out what leads someone to such a drastic, irreversible act.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? What goes through someone's mind in that moment? What pushes them over the edge?
Well, you have to consider the psychology of betrayal, that feeling of being completely blindsided, of having your world turned upside down. It's a massive loss of control.
Like, your whole sense of security and trust is just shattered.
Exactly. And when that happens, our brains go into fight or flight mode. It's a primal response. Adrenaline floods your system, emotions take over.
So logic goes out the window.
Pretty much. The prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for rational thinking, gets overridden by the amygdala, which controls our emotional responses.
It's fascinating, though, how in this case, the husband's rage seems very directed. He shoots the other man, but his wife is left unharmed.
Right, and that's a detail a lot of people have picked up on. It suggests that his anger was primarily focused on the person he saw as the cause of his pain. The intruder, you could say.
But legally speaking, that motive doesn't really matter, does it?
Not really, no. He still committed a serious crime with severe consequences. Regardless of what drove him to that point, he'll have to face the full force of the law.
It's a stark reminder that violence is never the answer. And speaking of answers, our source mentions calls for peace and seeking help in these situations. What are some healthier alternatives? Some ways to deal with the emotional fallout of infidelity without resorting to violence?
Well, first and foremost, communication is key. It's crucial to talk to your partner, even though it's going to be incredibly difficult.
That's easier said than done in a situation like this, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely. But it's the first step towards any kind of resolution, whether it's reconciliation or separation. And it's not something you have to do alone. Seeking professional help, either individually or as a couple, can equip you with the tools to process those emotions and figure out a path forward.
Therapy can provide a safe space to work through those feelings.
Exactly. And there's the legal side of things, too. A betrayed spouse has options. They can consult with a lawyer to understand their rights and explore potential legal avenues depending on the circumstances.
Like if they want to pursue a separation or divorce, or even take legal action.
Right. So there are many paths you can take that don't involve violence. It's about finding what works best for you and your situation.
And it's worth noting that the source material we're working with here doesn't give us any identifying information about the people involved. Why do you think that is?
Well, there could be a few reasons. It's possible the investigation is still ongoing, and authorities are withholding details to protect the integrity of the case.
And maybe to shield the individuals involved from further public scrutiny.
Yeah, especially if there are legal proceedings coming up. You also have to consider the potential for sensationalism. This is a real-life tragedy with real people at the center of it. Keeping their identities private might be a way to avoid adding to that.
It's a good reminder that we're not just talking about a viral video here. We're talking about people's lives.
Exactly. And it makes you think about the bigger picture, too. How, as a society, we handle infidelity and the emotional turmoil that comes with it. How we encourage open communication and conflict resolution.
And whether we're providing adequate resources and support for those who are going through something like this.
Precisely. These are important questions we need to keep asking ourselves.
So to our listeners out there, if you were ever faced with this kind of devastating betrayal, what would you do? What resources would you turn to? Would you lean on friends and family, seek professional help, or explore legal options? It's a tough question, but one worth pondering. This isn't about glorifying violence or making excuses for it. It's about understanding the complexities and searching for healthier solutions.
And remembering that there is always help available, always a better way forward.
That's right. And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Take care, everyone.
Take care.